Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to a new playthrough on the channel. After our adventures in the skies of World War I Europe last week, we are actually headed to a more traditional fantasy setting this week. I must have heard a buzz or something. I don't think it was from my door. Anyway, we're debuting 5 Leagues from the Borderlands by Modiphius Entertainment. This one, if you're familiar with 5 Parsecs from Home, you're going to see a lot of familiar things in this game, but it's set in a more traditional fantasy setting. Now, the purpose of tonight's stream is not necessarily to start building up any kind of big story yet. This first stream around this game is going to primarily be about, let's start pushing some pieces around the board and see if we can actually work with something in this system. So, we're essentially starting a campaign, so I'm going to be very much following a lot of the first campaign turn suggestions in here. So, look, I've got the book off shot. The first thing they suggest you do if you're in the first turn of a campaign is to make a travel roll, which the travel roll will be making. This is similar to what you'd see in 5 Parsecs from Home. We'll be making a D100 roll. And I don't really have a map yet, so let's actually get the right pen in my hand. Then we'll roll. So we're heading for a destination. It's a series of map areas. Okay. If using a hex map or similar. Okay, I'm not going to do any kind of freehand mapping, at least not for this first campaign, at least for this first scenario. Like I said, this is more to see about kind of starting to generate a little bit of the story. So we'll roll for our travel events table, and we'll see what we're doing. So, 100, we are completely lost. So that's not good. Completely lost, but we still have a traveler encounter. So we're encountering a traveler, which means we are setting up camp. So let me see if I can figure out what it means to set up camp. So 75, probably just if it's anything like a traditional RPG, it'll be like a portable base of operations. Which of course, if you're in camp, if you're in a map area that has no settlement, or you're in the wilderness. Okay, so we do set up camp, and then we roll to travel again for the next campaign turn. So we have a traveler encounter, which is on page 114. So our traveler encounter here. Alright, a 58 says we've got a soldier coming through. And what's the asterisk? Oh, encounters are general meetings. Okay, so we've got... So what did we say? We've got a soldier. So it's just a general meeting. Which also means we have to roll for interaction on the general meetings table. That's a 90, so we've got a special roll. Which means there's a subtable that we roll for that. So a special. Turns out we've rolled somebody interesting. That's a 51. That's a request for aid. Oh boy. They report that they were being chased by a group of wrongdoers. So we have to generate a meeting engagement using the roadside enemies table. If we hold the line, we can add +1 adventure point and a friend. Which we are going to go ahead and roll that. So... let's see, generate a meeting engagement using the roadside enemies table, which I believe our roadside... There should be a table here for roadside enemies. Let me look here. Let's see. Enemies. Let's see if there's something. Roadside encounters is probably what we want. Okay, yeah. So what we're going to do here is we've actually got a sample of both pre-generated characters that we're going to be using. So we've got Blixt. Everybody's got the same stats except for one character that's got a +1 combat skill. And then toughness all around. Then pre-generated enemies that we're going to go with. Okay. So for a roadside encounter, we're going to need a set of maps. We're going to need a map for that. I'm just looking in my map books to see what kind of map I want to pull out for this. Let's see. Let's look in my book of wilds. I'm using, in case you're wondering what kind of maps I'm pulling out, I'm going for one of my big battle books. One of my big battle map books. This one is by local battle mats that I'm reaching for. Let's see, a roadside encounter. Okay, yeah, we'll pretend that there's a section of ruins up above. So once I get this out of the way, that's the map we're going to go for here. Alright, so we've got that. So we've got the map set up. Looks like we are on the road somewhere. So we've got a soldier that's been wronged. Maybe by a random group of thugs. So we'll go for that. Okay, so we're just going to get that's on page 54 that we're setting up. Okay, so we've got our few pieces of... So we place the villains in a rough line with 2 inches between each figure. So we'll be using each of the hexes as a map. So we've got 1 there, 2, we'll go 3 and 4, something like that. Then we'll set our warband up over here. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. Just to introduce our band of characters, we will use this to represent Blixt, who's our bowman. Then we'll use this for Perrin, Stafford, and Sundelin. Those are sample characters that we're using for purposes of pushing pieces around. Then we'll make this one Grok for a bow. Then Grok, Grig, and Grin. Okay, so now we're fighting. So basically our goal here, as we established, goal is to hold the field. Here we are. So hold the field. +1 AP, 1 adventure point, and a friend. Okay, let me get all of our toughness out. I'll use black dice for that. All of these characters have 4 hit points. 3 and 4. As for our characters, everybody except Stafford has 3 hit points. So actually that's 3 is 3, yeah. So this one was Perrin, Stafford, and Sundelin. Okay, so now just like we did in 5 Leagues from the Borderlands, or not 5 Leagues from the Borderlands, 5 Parsecs from Home, now we're into our combat round. We're into our battle round. So now we're rolling for actions. Everybody's got an agility of 2. If you remember in 5 parsecs from home, any character we assign a die under their agility acts during the quick actions phase. So our goal here is to hold the line, hold the field, make sure everybody flees, essentially. Okay, so 2 of our characters are going to be acting in quick actions. So we'll put... this one has 3 hit points. Okay, so we're going to assign... I'm fine with having Blixt act during slow actions because nobody's going to be getting to him anyway. We'll have our 2 characters in back. Sunderland as well will act during slow actions. As for our 2 frontline characters, we'll have them both act during quick actions. Actually, I believe it's... Okay. Let's see, I'm just looking here. I believe in combat, equal to agility means you still act in fast. Let's see, adventuring. Okay. Encounter stage battle encounters, which we've set all that up already. Because we were using pre-generated encounters, we've deployed everything already. And we've got a site battle here. I'm just double checking at this point to see. It's probably in combat that I'm going to find something about that. The campaign. Let's see if there's something that explains combat. Oh, battle round. Here we go. Okay, so we'll go to page 29. Initiative. Equal or below acts during quick actions. Okay. So we've got our 2 frontline characters that act during quick actions. So we'll have them both move their 4 inches, which I'll use as 1 map hex. 1, 2, 3, 4 is their move action. Then they can take a non-combat action. They can take a non-combat action, ranged attack, or melee attack. I'm just going to double check what dash is. Let's see. Dash, I believe. Speed is... Okay. Looks like speed has 2 values. That is the additional distance they have to be gained by using dash. Okay. So I think what's his name? I think Perrin is going to dash. So 1, 2, 3. Which means he's done. Then this is Stafford, who's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, and then dash 1, 2, 3. Oop, took the wrong die away. Okay, then for our characters, we'll have Grok act first. They act in the same order, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then he's going to take a ranged attack at that's Perrin. So he rolls a d6, and in order to attack from ranged, he needs to get a 5+, I believe. Let's see. Game rules, campaign. Let's see, combat. Okay, within range and in the open needs a 5+ to hit. Okay. That's a 2, so nothing happening there. Don't get cute with me. I'm going to put a bookmark in there. Okay, then Grok, actually this was Grin. He's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. That is Grig reacting, and then Grin 1, 2, 3, 4. Now for our other two characters, we will have Blixt move next. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Blixt is going to take a shot at their bow character. That is Grok. Once again, needs a 5+ to hit with the bow. Which that's a 2, so nothing happening there. Then for Sunderland, he will move 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we're into a new round. Wow, 3 of our characters acting during fast actions. So we'll assign the 4 to Blixt. Then we'll give the other 3 fast action dice. We'll start off with this is Perrin, who is in melee range. Excuse me. The series of 3 exchange representing the cut and thrust, each of which is an opposed roll. So each of them will roll a die. We'll use red for us since that's what we've been using. Then I'll grab another color for them. We'll use blue for them. So this is Grub, who's attacking. Combat skill is +0. Perrin is a +1. Actually, that is not Perrin. This is Stafford, who's a +0 on combat skill. Okay, so he hits, which is unfortunate, which means he becomes the attacker. Avoid harm to become the attacker in the following exchange. Okay. So now he's the attacker, and we roll again. Okay, nobody hits, so it's a draw, which means the defender, actually, the attacker has a higher score. They score a blow and remain the attacker. But I believe, does that still have to be in? Attacker has a higher score. They strike a blow and remaining the attacker. Okay. So then each type start with the figure closest to the battle's edge, the map's edge. Okay, roll a d6, try to reach or beat the target number. Okay, so he becomes the attacker now, which means now we're rolling for the last exchange. That's a 6, which is actually an exploding for us. So I believe sixes explode on hits, I think. Let's see if the defender lost the exchange. Okay. I'm just double checking because I thought... So they have no armor on them either. Roll is a 2. Okay, so it's 2 to 6 is not a natural thing. So we'll roll for damage on Grub, which is a d6. So that'll do 1 point of damage to Grub. Then this one is Stafford. He will move 1, 2 spaces, and he'll become the attacker going after Grub as well. Okay, so Grub scores a hit, becomes the attacker. We'll retreat back, and then he'll move up to stay in range. He does deal damage. We'll roll for that first. That's 3 points of damage. Ouch. And then we'll roll again. Okay, he hits again, which is unfortunate. That's another 5 points of damage, so we've lost Sunderland from the map. That's problematic. That plan kind of blew up in my face. Let's see, our last character acting in fast actions is actually going to be Sunderland. So he will move 1, 2, 3, 4, and he'll stay there rather than risk getting into melee range. So we will have this. We had Grin will move 1, 2, 3, 4. Then doesn't have to move, but he'll shoot at. This is Perrin. Needs a 5+ to hit, which that is a 6, so he will hit, of course, and do 2 points of damage. Down to 1. Then we've got Grig. 1, 2, 3, 4. In retrospect, I should probably use different dice, different health dice for the two different teams. Then we'll have Blixt attack. We'll have Blixt attack. This is, I think we established that was going to be Grub. So Blixt will attack Grub, needs a 5+ to hit. Which that's a 4, so nothing doing there. But we are rolling for actions here. Yikes, only one character acting in fast. I'll have that be Sunderland. Actually, that'll be Perrin. Whereas everybody else can act in slow actions. Sunderland is going to move that should be, so that's Grub. They'll go into melee combat. Yikes. Okay, so we both score hits against each other, but unfortunately we are going to lose Sunderland. We are going to lose Perrin on the exchange. But he is going to take Grub down with him. So both of them will bite the dust. Okay. That was our last character acting in fast action. So we'll have Grok go next. She will attack. This was Sunderland. So he will attack Sunderland. That's a 4. Fortunately, actually, he might be able to get away with a 4+ within 6 inches and in the open. So actually, let me count this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, a 4 will work for 2 points of damage. Let's see. Then this was Grig, who will move. Oops. Of course, just came off the base. Okay. 1, 2, 3. We'll get into melee range to attack Sunderland. Alright, that's a draw, so the defender retreats 1 space, or retreats 1 inch, so he'll retreat there. And then combat's over. And that was everybody from that team. So, Sunderland, is there a way Sunderland can actually heal? Probably, well, what does keep down let him do? Receives cover from all ranged attacks. Actually, he's going to move 1, 2 to kind of go hide in these ruins, and then he is going to receive cover. As for Blixt, she's going to attack. Actually, that would be stupid. She's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. Still attacking Grig, still attacking Grub from in range. That's a 6, so that'll definitely hit Grub. For 6 points of damage, which will wipe him out. At least I believe that's how damage gets resolved, right? Okay. Roll to overcome toughness. Okay, the roll is equal to or below toughness. They're wounded and stunned. Okay, so that's actually a little bit more straightforward than I thought it would be. So it's a roll to overcome toughness. Okay, which means we roll again. So we're 2 on 2 at this point. Wow, and everybody's acting in slow. So we'll assign it like that. Let's see, this is actually... This will have Grok move first. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we can establish a line of sight here. If I can ever find... I know I've got a laser pointer in here somewhere that puts out a line, so I can check line of sight. Here we are. Actually, I should see how this game determines line of sight. I'm assuming it's corner to corner, but I'm not sure. 35, 36, 58. If a line can be drawn between two figures without crossing a block, without crossing some kind of interruption, a line of sight exists. So let me find where I had the bookmark. And we'll put that right there. So we're looking at Grok trying to get to Sunderland. Actually, Grok can see to Sunderland. Fortunately for us, Sunderland is in cover. So within weapon range and concealed or behind cover. So Grok needs a 6 to hit Sunderland. Which that's a 4, so that won't do it. But for Grin, 1, 2, 3, 4 can't get into melee range. Sunderland, however, can, and I think we are going to have to risk it here. So he'll move in and he'll attack. He'll attack against Grin. He's got the higher, so he will inflict a hit, which means we'll roll to try to overcome toughness. Which that's a 3, and equal to works as well, so Grin has actually been defeated as well. As for Blixt, she will move 1, 2, 3, 4. And we can establish a line of sight. Helps if I turn the laser pointer the right way. We can establish a line of sight right there. One space too far for an easier shot. So this will be... Oh, I haven't been rolling for seeing if enemies flee. But I think this first encounter would be fighting to the death anyway, so we need a 5+ here. Which that's a 1, so actually nothing happening there. But a 1 could theoretically mean a weapon's out of ammunition, but we're not going to worry about that here. Anyway, we will roll for our next action, for our next actions phase. All right, both of them are acting during the fast actions. We'll have Sunderland 1, 2, 3. Actually, let's go 1, 2, 3. We'll do it that way. And then he's in melee range. So he's got his short sword, I guess we'll say, ready to go. We'll see if he does anything with that. Wow, that's a 6. Okay, so he wins the exchange. Still the attacker. Let's see if he overcomes toughness. He does, which means we actually have held the field. So in this case, if we held the field, we would theoretically get +1 adventure point and a friend. So that was our encounter, which will send us to the resolution stage. At this point, we would collect adventure points. We would check for injuries, so the characters who got wounded, just like in 5 parsecs from home. Let me find it here. So we'd roll d6 and gain that many adventure points. Then we'd check for injuries. So we'd be rolling on the appropriate injuries table. Then we would check for advancement to see if anybody levels up, make an advancement roll. Then we'd roll for loot, roll for any unusual finds, settle in. So we would be in camp because we had to set up camp as part of this encounter. Then we'd roll for news travels to see what happens. But then after that, we would be all set for a new preparation stage to start a new campaign turn. So, seems pretty straightforward. That'll do it for this playthrough of 5 Leagues from the Borderlands from Modiphius Entertainment. I do think I see myself digging into this game a little bit more. Like I said, this was just a let's push some pieces around, see what I think of the system on an initial pass through it. Definitely very similar to 5 parsecs from home. This is just a fantasy version of it. So yeah, I do see myself digging into this a little bit more. But I'm rambling at this point, so let's wrap it up. Tomorrow, we're picking back up with my 2009-10 hockey season replay in Stratomatic Hockey, as we will be at the SAP Center in San Jose, California, for our last Game 1. This one is in the Western Conference semifinals between the San Jose Sharks and the Dallas Stars. Saturday, Mystical Munchies will continue out of the official Elder Scrolls cookbook as we make the side garlic bread. And that may be a morning upload, or that may be an afternoon upload for dinner. Stay tuned to the channel for news on that. Sunday morning, we are continuing the fall campaign in B-17 Flying Fortress Leader by Dan Burson Games. As for next week, we have another new debut on the another new debut game on the channel as we play Hockey Blast by Play Games. Stay tuned. Tonight we may have some product unboxings on the channel. In fact, we're wrapping up early, so this could be a great time to catch up on some of those unboxings. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care, everyone.